This is a brand new NS Bikes Synonym, and it's the most radical and interesting bike in the XC race bike category at the moment. Now, as you might know, XC race bikes are going through an interesting period of development at the moment, and we're largely seeing the geometry from longer travel trail and enduro bikes being given to lightweight, short travel 29er bikes with some quite interesting and fascinating results. The new bike is available in two travel versions to suit your preference. There's the RC for race with 100mm of travel front and rear, and the bike we have here is the TR for trail, and travel is increased to 120mm front and rear. Both bikes roll on 29-inch wheels, and both bikes have full carbon fibre frames front and rear. In my intro I used the word radical, and I really do mean it. This bike has radical for an XC short travel bike geometry. So we'll start with the reach, which on this size large is a whopping 500mm. I mean, that's longer than many trail and enduro bikes. I have tested a few progressive XC race bikes in the past year, and some are getting longer, 470, 480, but none come even close to this bike. And it really points to where NS Bikes have tried to position this bike ahead of the pack, basically, compared to all other XC race bikes. But is it too long? Well, that's a question I'll try and answer when we go for a ride in a bit. Some more numbers for you. The head angle comes in at 67 degrees, which is slack compared to most other XC race bikes, which coming in about 68, 69. And then the seat angle is nice and steep at 77 degrees. Then we have 438mm chainstays, so on the long side, and a wheelbase on this side large comes in at 1223mm. So a long, slack bike, as you expect of a bigger travel bike, but here presented on a short travel platform. This bike here is a range topping model and costs €6,000, and it is well spec'd for the money, as you would hope. So we've got a SRAM X01 Eagle 12-speed group set doing the gears, and then we have SRAM disc brakes as well, and it's nice to see 180mm rotors front and rear, as suits the capability of the trail version. All bikes across the range, even the race models, get a dropper post, and that's a nice thing to see on what is a bike that will be used by many people for trail marathon riding, where a dropper post is a useful thing to have. And this bike has a Fox transfer item. For all the finishing kit, the handlebar, the stem, and even the wheels, they're from NS Bikes with their own brands. Nice wide profile aluminium tubeless ready wheels. Suspension duties on this bike are carried out by a Fox 34 step cast fork on the front and a matching shock, and both can be controlled and locked out simultaneously by a remote lever on the handbar. Now, that's fine to see on the race version of the bike, where you might expect a lockout lever to be useful for that more efficient pedaling on smoother climbs, but on the trail version I don't think it's really that suitable. But you might feel differently, so let me know what you think of having remote lockout levers on your suspension bikes in the comment section down below. Do you use them? Do you hate them? I'd love to know your thoughts. It's a really nice looking bike too, full carbon to save weight and increase stiffness. So carbon for the main frame and for the swing arm, and to save even more weight, there's no pivot hardware on the rear stays at all, instead relying on flex in the seat stays to do what a pivot would normally do. It's got a short rocker linkage to activate the shock, and as you can see, there's plenty of space for a bottle cage with a full 700mm bottle going in there easily. Cable routing is all fully internal, which is a good thing given how many cables there are on this bike with a lockout and a dropper post. It's all neatly done around the bottom bracket as well. We've got a press fit bottom bracket, which is par for the course for a high-end performance carbon frame, really stiffer and lighter, etc. Got a tapered head tube up front, the dropper post compatible of course. But that's enough talk, it's time to go for a ride. So I'm going to strap on a GoPro to my chest and we'll go for a ride, and we'll do some climbs and some descents and see what this bike is all about and how the numbers work out on the trail. Climbing is an essential requirement of an XC bike, of course, and this new bike does not disappoint at all. The low weight, about 26 pounds, definitely helps. The big wheels help. The stiff frame definitely helps as well. And it's the efficient suspension. Even in fully open mode, the suspension is very stable, very little excessive movement, so you just get on with the job of powering up the climbs. Well, not powering today, but spinning away gently. God, it doesn't take long to get out of breath. So on paper, that long reach, the 500mm reach from the side large, might seem excessive, but with a 50mm stem, it feels good. I've got a nice comfy reach to the handlebars, nice fit, they don't feel stretched out. It just feels good really. It's probably not as rapid as that BMC 4-stroke I tested last year. It feels a bit more relaxed, a bit calmer. Oh, that's good fun. Okay, dropping something a little bit steeper, but probably just as slippery as everything else. Lots of leaves. Hey, feels good. It feels really planted and really stable. Doesn't feel nervous when you're dropping it into some steep stuff. You can just have fun. It just feels like a mini trail bike rather than a beefed up XC race bike, like an Epic Evo. More than just a bigger fork. The geometry really lets you lay it down to the corners. It's only the tyres holding it back really. Oh, so much fun. But it still feels nimble and agile. We're going to change the tyres to suit these conditions. The handling performance won't be that far off a more conventional trail bike. Oh, the bike's so much fun and good in the air. It feels poppy when you want it to be. It's agile through the corners, it turns in nice and quick, but it's stable at high speed, and when the tyres are sliding around, scrabbling for grip. Really only the tyres are holding it back. As you can see, the trails are pretty muddy, pretty slippery, which is all part of the fun of course. But it really does have the handling of a trail bike. Oh, it's just so good. Just gets up to speed quickly, no hesitation. It feels so good when it's sliding around. I know it looks really slow. It does feel much faster, I promise you that. Now I do have a gripe with this bike, and it's the lockout for the shock and the fork. They're too close to the dropper. They're very easy to accidentally lock out the suspension as you go into a drop, which you don't want. So that has been my review of the brand new and quite radical NS Bikes Synonym. Quite an impressive bike, definitely a thumbs up from me. I love the capability the geometry gives you on technical steep trails, but yet it's light enough and efficient enough to be a fast climbing bike. This would be an ideal marathon bike in my opinion, for big days in the saddle when you want a fast bike, but a bike that when you come to a technical section is not going to hold you back and let you have fun and catch in the gravity tokens. So an impressive bike. I do wonder if pure XC World Cup racers will find it too long or whether they get on with it. And I do wonder how the rest of the industry will respond to this bike and whether they bring out bikes which dare to be as long, as slack as this bike. So I think we might be getting to a point where we're probably getting to the limit of how long and how slack a bike like this, a lightweight XC race bike, can be. So interesting times for sure. Now, I'd love to know your thoughts on this bike and what you think of it. So get into the comment section and get typing. Let me know your thoughts on this bike. And equally, if you have any questions, do let me know down below and I'll do my best to answer them. But that is all for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. And if you did, hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe as well. Loads more bike reviews coming up. And if you've got any requests, let me know down below. But I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.